Imagine you are at a hockey game. You're sitting in the stands, close to where that plexiglass is that separates you from the hockey management teams, the players, the managers, the maintenance staff, that plexiglass. And you're watching this hockey staffer walk back and forth. He's got on like a polo jacket with a collar. He's got a walkie-talkie, and you just happen to notice a mole on the back of his neck that looks weird. What would you do? Would you say something to the staff or person? Mind you, there's plexiglass in the way. Or would you just not even think anything about it? Now imagine that you are in medical school and you have been learning about cancerous moles, melanoma, skin cancers, and so this mole is sticking out as the man walks back and forth. You're starting to notice that it looks a little suspicious from your textbooks. Now what would you do? Would you say something? Hi, Melanoma Mom here. This video is part of my Melanoma Diagnosis Story series. If you would like to share your story with my viewers about any skin cancer you have, please email me at this email address right here. While you're here, join me in my mission to prevent skin cancer by subscribing to this channel. Jojo, what you doing? You ready to start the story? Nadia was sitting in the fans of an NHL hockey game. It was the Seattle Krakens versus the Vancouver Canucks. She was watching an assistant equipment manager clearing off a bench when she noticed a very suspicious looking mole. Now she is in medical school and learning about skin cancers. She sits there debating whether or not she should say something to him and how she would go about saying it, because there is a clear plexiglass separating her from this assistant manager whose name happens to be Brian. She's torn because she doesn't want to make him uncomfortable in telling him that he has a suspicious looking mole. She's a stranger. He's not going to listen to what she has to say. How can she get his attention to at least go and get it checked out? So does she shout it out in the stands when everything is quiet? Does she go up to the plexiglass and knock on it and say, hey? Would he even pay attention to her? So she ends up typing this message out on her phone in very large font. The mole on the back of your neck is possibly cancerous. Please go see a doctor. She walks it up to the glass and presses her phone against the glass as he walks by. And he sees it and he reads it and he ignores her because he's probably thinking this is a crazy fan. This is none of her business. What is she talking about? Why is she looking at a mole on the back of my neck? And he continues on doing his job at the hockey game. He goes home, he thinks nothing about this. However, the next morning, he's wondering about it. He's gotten up, he's looked in the mirror, it's on the back of his neck. There's a mole there, but it's been there for a while, so what is the problem? But something keeps nagging at him, so he asks his wife, hey, does this mole on the back of my neck look weird? His wife said, yeah, it is an odd shape. It's not completely circular. It's got some weirdness about it. Maybe you should go get it looked at. So he goes to the team physician, the hockey team physician, says, hey, have a look at the mole at the back of my neck. The team physician says, yeah, it looks a little weird. Let's just go ahead and take it off. Let's just take it off, have it biopsied, then you won't have to worry about it anymore. So that's what happens. Unfortunately and fortunately, the biopsy results come back. The biopsy revealed malignant melanoma in situ 2, meaning the cancer was only on the outer layer of the skin and was caught early enough so that it was not dangerous. They removed it, he was fine, he didn't need any additional surgeries, no chemotherapy, no immunotherapy, nothing. They caught it early. Now the story doesn't stop here. Something amazing happens next to Nadia. The woman in the stands who was brave enough to call out and bring to attention to Brian that he had this strange looking mole on his back. Wait until you hear what happens. This story I am reporting from npr.org. I will leave the entire article linked down below if you want to read more about this story. Brian, the assistant equipment manager, decided he needed to find the woman in the stands who he didn't know her name. He didn't know it was Nadia. He needed to find her and thank her for saving his life. Was it an emergency situation? No. But his doctor told him that if they hadn't caught this mole and removed it, he could be seriously ill and sick and possibly even dying in 3 to 4 years. Brian had to find this woman. He looked everywhere, trying to figure out, does anybody know her? They found her picture. They were posting it on social media, on Twitter. They had some video footage from the game that they found. They're posting it on Twitter, trying to find and locate this woman so that he could thank her. The Vancouver Canucks posted on their social media asking fans for help in finding this woman. They posted saying they were trying to connect Brian with the woman he considers to be his hero. This note took off on social media. Brian wrote a few extra words explaining the situation. It went viral. But Nadia didn't notice it right away. She was napping from working her overnight shift at a suicide hotline. Talk about an amazing woman. But now wait for it. Here's where the connections start happening. Her mom was on Facebook because, what mom isn't on Facebook? Nadia's around 22 years old. Her mother, us older people, we like Facebook, was on Facebook and happened to be in the Canuck Facebook group. There was like a fan page and saw this post, made the connections, realized, hey, this is my daughter Nadia that everyone is talking about and trying to find. Now, Nadia was attending the Kraken hockey games through her stepfather's season pass. She already had plans to attend that Saturday night's hockey game. But this was no ordinary hockey match. I get so excited telling the story because it's amazing how a stranger's bravery can change the life of another person. Nadia and Brian end up connecting because of the social media post. They met together before the hockey game, had a very emotional meeting and discussion. Brian thanked Nadia for saving his life. Nadia thanked Brian for actually paying attention and getting that mole checked out. Now wait. There's more to the story. It keeps getting better. Nadia, remember I said she was in medical school. Well, the NHL wanted to award her in some way for being a hero and saving their assistant equipment manager. So that night at the hockey game, to her surprise, they presented her with a $10,000 scholarship. If you enjoyed this story, I think you will like this one here about a woman who was checking out at a grocery store and saw a stranger staring at her feet.